don't have to engage in a grand or a heroic action to participate in change. I have noticed that even small acts, when multiplied by millions of people, can help in transforming the world. With this refreshing yet a very truthful approach, let us begin today. Hello, everyone. We welcome you to the second episode of Sissy Squad by Girl Up Sheeish. Your host for the day today is me, Priyal,
Hi everyone, I'm Muskan.
and today with us we have Priyanka Dev, the founder of Upton Story. She has a background in psychology and has always had a passion for being associated with the nature. Watching her grandmother's sustainability practices has encouraged her immensely to pursue a profession in the same field. And she has later also pursued a course in natural skincare products to start her own small business using organic cold press oils and therapeutic essential oils. She is a mother of two children and has advocated for adopting sustainable practices in everyday life, including composting at home to reduce household waste and also refused single use disposables.
Her brand, Upton Story, is a collection of natural skincare and hair care products that have been mindfully formulated using gentle and natural plant-based ingredients, including organic cold-pressed oils. All the products are 100% SLS and paraben-free with no artificial colors or fragrance.
We like to extend a warm welcome and thank you for taking out the time to record this podcast with us. Ma'am, is there anything else that you would like to tell our listeners so that they get to know you better?
No, I think you've said it all. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction.
Thank you, ma'am. That is great. Now let us dive in further because I'm sure our listeners are also eager to know are eager to know about your skincare and your practices that you adopt. So, firstly, I'm sure a lot of our listeners are curious to know about how Upton Story as a brand has come into being. Humorously speaking, why don't you let us in on the birth of your business child?
Yeah, sure. So, like I mentioned, while growing up, I would always see my grandmother making, Upton at home. She never used soap her entire life. And she encouraged us also to use that, and it was always there in the kitchen for anyone who wanted it. So, watching all that, I just really felt that as my children were growing up, we were more conscious about how many chemicals and extra things there are in everything that we pick up for our personal care, from creams to shampoos to soaps, everything. So I used to try and make a lot of things on my own for them and for my family. And then it slowly, the idea just developed into a business idea, and I did a course. And then I also was bothered by the packaging that all these things come in. It always comes in plastic bags, plastic tubes, bottles, everything. So there was no way for me to eliminate it other than making it myself, I felt. So, and about giving other people also the option or the choice to, buy things that are plastic free packaging and made without the use of harmful chemicals. So that's how the idea started. And
So it's
it just
basically,
grew.
yeah, yeah, it's basically the childhood curiosity that led you to starting your own business.
Yeah, in some ways, yes, in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Can you tell us the meaning of the word Upton? Like, what significance does it hold?
So Upton is traditionally something that was used in homes to clean the skin. It was a mix of, in different homes, it was made with different ingredients, sometimes with besan, sometimes with dal, sometimes with ghee and atta. The basic idea was to clean the skin without stripping it of its natural oils and without using things that are bought from the market. And in Indian weddings, uptan is something that is used for the bride and the bridegroom before the wedding, just to cleanse the body so that, you're glowing on the day of the wedding, and all of that. So that is what uptan really means. And I named my, brand Upton Story because the first product that I actually saw, the first thing that we used as children at home was Uptan, which was made by my grandmother. So, in fact, one of my products is also called Amma's Uptan because it was inspired by my grandmother's recipe. I just modified it a bit to be able to package and preserve it and, sell it. So it's named also that. But we make more than just Uptan, of course. I make a lot of other things like balms and shampoo bars, etc. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, your grandmother's stories are still weaved into you. Um, that really is very inspiring. Like during the pandemic, like there is no denying that the pandemic was a really stressful time for young and old people alike. Even businesses that were flourishing were now suffering in terms of, revenue earnings. What inspired you to start your business at such an unfavorable time? I mean, needless to say, of course, it was a very bold and courageous step of you.
So actually, it started before the pandemic. It wasn't during, but it was just before. And when we had the lockdown and all, I was in the process of getting my labels and packaging and all made and designed. So all that got delayed by a lot of by several months because everything was closed. So yeah. And during that time, of course, it was tough. I did start after all the lockdown and everything opened up again, but still it was only online because I couldn't physically be there at any exhibition or any market or any place because people were not really stepping out. So, but then it's in one way people had shifted to the online mode for buying a lot of things. So it was in a way good that the website got a lot of views because everyone was actually looking at online ways of purchasing things. So it, in some ways, it worked out, and in other ways, of course, it slowed the process. Yeah.
Yeah, as two sides of a coin, everything has its pros and everything has its cons. It was good that you had like an online medium to carry out your business, and it was good that you did not delay it further because it's like it was your unwavering mindset, and because the fact that you were very close to the business, like it was very close to your heart, so you wanted to pursue it no matter what, even though the market was not very favorable at that time. So I would say that it is very engaging at your end, and I really liked the way that you creatively like instilled all the practices. So there is another question that stems out in this for me. I want to know that how do you see Upton Story flourish as a brand in, let's say, like 5 or 10 years time? Basically, I'm asking like, what is your long-term vision for Upton Story?
So the long-term vision is, of course, to have the name, the brand known by as many people as possible, and I hope it will be available soon on all the larger websites that are actually selling sustainable products. There are many that are specifically for these products. And I hope that some of the stores also start stocking these products so that they're more easily available for physical purchase as well, because there are still a lot of people who like to see things before they buy them. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And maybe a small store somewhere of my own, although I
So
don't know where. Yeah.
expanding your customer base is basically the aim for you right now, like
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
future. That is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's true.
We really wish you all the best from our side for these dreams. Um,
Thank you.
Now that we know the past and the present of the and the future also of Upton, can you take us a little behind the scenes? Like how do you produce your products and what people other than you are contributing to the end product?
Yeah. So basically, the formulations, of course, are all mine. The only help I have just now is part-time help that I call in when a batch or a larger batch has to be made. So I have a small laboratory space near the house where it's all done under my supervision, and it's packaged also under my supervision. So yeah, that's what it is just now. So it's a very
So,
small team. It's basically me, and then I have 2 or 3 helpers who I call on an hourly basis because I can't really pay them full time at the moment. So they come on a per day basis or an hourly basis as and when I need them for the production and for the packaging. Yeah.
so more or less, it is like a one woman action. Like
Yeah,
you,
most of the time. Yes. Yeah.
and like the part-time helpers that you're mentioning, like what is the men to women ratio in that, if you don't mind me asking?
They're all girls. They're all women.
That
Yeah.
is very encouraging to know that like women are also contributing towards the workforce. Like, however, even if it is a minimal contribution, it is very delightful to know that women are also a part of it. So that really inspires us as young individuals also, like to
Yeah.
encourage to get up, be a part in small businesses. So kudos to that. Now I'm going to be stating the obvious when I say that sustainability is a significant factor for you when it comes to your products. And we definitely really appreciate it, like from the bottom of our hearts, because like even if it is a minimal change, like a small business for you is it's a minimal change, but it's very appreciable in these times. The question that I want to ask is that since when did you realize that like being an eco-conscious person should be like not even in not just in the business aspect, but like even in an everyday life aspect? Like you have mentioned that you also take care of practices like composting and all in your place. So like when did you realize the significance of all of this and how do you incorporate it in your business?
So basically, I have been composting our entire kitchen waste that we have at home since the past over 6 years now. So it's a very easy process, and I first saw it at a friend's place where she had a home composting unit. It's just terracotta pots that are placed one on top of the other. And every day you put in all your kitchen waste, any leftover food or anything that has got spoiled, everything goes in there, and you cover it with with either crushed dried leaves or cocoa peat, and it forms layers, and in about 5 weeks you have your ready compost which you can use in your own plants, or you can give to friends or put it in a park close by. So you're cutting down your household waste by more than 60%, because what's left is then dry waste, your packets of chips or bread or milk or anything else, paper, and most of it is recyclable. So, yeah, so that was one of the things that I've been doing for many years. And of course, I carry my own water bottle, and I try as far as possible to use my own glass or spoon if I'm outside. And I don't take, sometimes I don't take water, or I don't take a drink if it's being served in disposables, just for that. Connecting it to my business, I wanted to make sure that even the boxes that I pack my stuff in, if it's being couriered to different cities, it's all compostable. So they're just paper cardboard boxes that I used, and to sort of, instead of bubble wrap, which prevents, any dents in the tins that I use shredded paper, and that paper is also collected from 1 or 2 offices. They have like confidential documents that cannot be sent for recycling. So they are shredded, and that paper is then used as a cushioning for the boxes. And then I also have reusable small cloth pouches in which the products are put in before they are packaged. So that has my company details, of course. Plus, it's made of cloth. It's reusable as a toilet bag, a makeup kit bag, or to carry anything small. And that they are also made by a local lady tailor in my neighborhood. So she also gets some work. And the cloth that is used is also leftover small pieces of cloth. So I don't buy running 10 meters of cloth. I just pick up small pieces. I have friends who give me their old, maybe their chunnis or bed sheets which are unused and they don't want to use them. And it's just all converted into those bags and reused. So nothing really goes to waste and nothing extra is bought, really. So, yeah.
Wow, I mean, seriously, as a person who is also very eco-conscious, I really appreciate you so much for taking care of our planet. As the future generation, also, thank you so much for taking care of our planet. I also I wanted to really comment on the fact how creative your whole process is from like the moment you start making it to the moment it's packaged and sent off. Each and every step is so thoughtful, is it's really commendable, seriously. I wanted to ask, so the business world is very competitive, of course. New businesses keep emerging every single day. How do you make an identity for your own brand? Like, how do you what are some strategies that you adopt in order to stay relevant?
Um, I don't know. I think one of the things I do is of course because I'm also the main person who's handling everything. I have personal contact with most of my clients. Like if there are any questions, anything that it comes directly to me. If there are any queries, then also when I'm promoting my products on Instagram, I show up. My face is there, my voice is there. And when I'm there at the farmers markets or any small markets, I'm there myself to answer any questions, uh, to help people choose what their skin requires or to choose between different products that are being offered. So I think that personal interaction is one of the things that might be different for my brand as compared to a larger brand where there's no real one single person. It is a brand. It is a logo, and yeah. So maybe that's one thing that could be different.
I really truly appreciate it that you maintain like a personal connect with all the customers, and that also actually helps in like because maintaining an emotional connect and like the person then wants to order from you again, so that helps in like maintaining a constant customer base. So I feel like this strategy is a very well thought one, and well, it is working for you right now, and it will definitely also work in the long run. But my question here is like we are talking about work and like how you adopt your practices, and but we also need to focus on your life, like apart from work. So, like work life balance is the term that comes to my mind. Like it is a term that is thrown around a lot nowadays, and for each individual there is like a different perception of how they manage their work life and their personal life. So how do you define work life balance for yourself, and like what are the steps that you take to achieve it so that you maintain like a maintain like a balance between your house and your work?
So firstly, my timings are very flexible because most of the work is either done from home or I'm in my laboratory, which is also close by. So I can choose my timings of when I'm doing certain things and when I'm available for my children or for the home. So early mornings, I'm there in the house, at least aware of what is happening in the kitchen and everything else. So I usually start my day a little late. When it comes to work, I only start by 11. So that time is there in the morning that I have to fix things at home and everything is done in order. And then I usually try to finish everything that I have by 5 o'clock so that after that also I'm available, whether it's going out with the children or helping them with their studies or any other social engagement. And yeah, so and then if I'm a lot of times I have to do markets on weekends because they're there only on weekends, a Saturday or a Sunday, and the kids are home. But then my husband is also home on Sundays, so it becomes easy. If I'm not there, he's there. For them or anything else that needs to be taken care of. So yeah, it's quite flexible, and I like to keep it that way because uh, I mean, I know a lot of women have strict timings of 9 to 5, and they are able to manage it beautifully. But I think as a person, don't think I could do that. It's too binding for me. I need to have flexibility. So yeah, I keep it flexible for myself. Yeah.
That is great, ma'am, that you have like a flexible approach towards work, and it's not all about work, or it's not all about your home life or personal life. But there is one thing that still is on my mind. Like, what about me time? Like, me time is a thing which is very important. So, like, how do you unwind after like somewhat stressful day at work, or like even a stressful day at your house? Like, how do you personally like to unwind?
Actually, going out and being at when I do my stalls at exhibitions, although it's busy, but still I enjoy it. It's a little bit like my me time only because I mean that's also work related, but still I enjoy it myself. And then of course I'm not working constantly in the evenings. There is music. I enjoy listening to music, and so do my kids. So, music is something I give part of my time to, and books. So I do keep time for myself as well. So it's not like it's that I don't get time for myself. So yeah. And early mornings also, I have 1 hour in the morning when I am free to do whatever. I have my coffee at very slow pace. So that's also my me time.
Even for me, also, music and dancing are one of the best ways to unwind after any day, or let alone stressful day. Music and dancing. I wanted to ask, there are a lot of myths associated with using natural ingredients instead of, fancy creams. Would you like to address them and bust them?
Um, I think a lot of people have, for example, hesitation about using oils. They feel it'll make their skin greasy, and we can't use it in the daytime, and we can't, there are a lot of myths regarding that. So it just depends on which oils and what combinations are there, depending on the skin type. So, like for example, I have a facial oil, which is some people do hesitate in purchasing because they feel, "Hum face pe, how can we put oil?" But what they don't realize it is they are a combination of oils that are very quick absorbing, they are non-greasy, and they just disappear into the skin. And they actually deeply nourish, and then you don't need to apply anything till the evening, till the night time. Whereas when you apply a water-based cream, all those white lotions and creams that you get in the market are 80% only water. And then maybe another 12% of all sorts of preservatives and fragrances and chemicals and fillers. And maybe just 5% of some oils and some things which also may not be organic oils. Or they may be cheap oils, which are because the product cost for them, they have to keep it low. And a lot of times people have to apply and reapply and keep a little tube in their bag also. Ki beach mein they'll apply, but they don't realize all that. Just it's convenient to keep a tube and keep using it, they feel. But what they don't realize is how much of unneeded, unrequired things are going through the skin into your entire bloodstream. It's getting absorbed into the body. Whatever you put on your skin, hair, scalp, everything gets absorbed. They don't realize that. It's important to use good stuff, just like food. You're eating chips and Maggie, all that is getting absorbed. Similarly, even you should be careful about what you're putting on your skin for skincare. or hair care. So, yeah. Then a lot of times people have myths about bars of shampoo. Like, I don't make liquid shampoos. I make shampoo bars instead because they don't need plastic packaging. Tubes, bottles are not required. So that's something new also for people. They don't understand how it's different. Is it soap? But it's not soap. It's not the same as the soap that you're using for washing hands and your body. These are actually completely different ingredients, which are shampoos. They are just in solid form. But they are meant for the hair. They're not meant for. They are not the same as what a Lux soap bar or a Pears soap bar. They're very different ingredients. And they lather, but they give off a lather. They also feel that especially lather will not be formed, but then they lather also. And they are very effective cleansers, but they are just more gentle. And of course, the other thing about them is they last much longer than a liquid because they're very concentrated. So one bar of shampoo can last you a month and a half, uh, probably more than your bottle of shampoo. But it's difficult to understand those things until you actually use them because they are new things. You're not used to seeing shampoo bars. You're more used to seeing bottles of shampoo. So yeah, so anything new takes time for people to accept.
So before we conclude this podcast, I just wanted to ask last question. Uh, how we as a society can contribute for small businesses? Like, how can we uplift small businesses? How can we as individuals also contribute towards small businesses like yours?
So of course, the first thing is to see a brand or the story behind a brand and actually buy from them. And then if you do like their products, it's a great idea to use them as gifts. If you have, I don't know, people give return gifts these days for weddings also, for functions also. So if you buy from them and give to 10 people or 20 people, you're helping to spread the word about a small brand. So gifting is also a very good way to help a small brand, or just posting a story or a review. Even that doesn't cost anything. Just writing 2 lines, tagging a brand, if you have liked, of course, their product. That also helps because then so many of your friends see it and some of them might try it. So that's another way to help a small brand. Um, and yeah, those are the things.
Okay, sure. We will definitely keep it in mind. With this answer, we take our leave. This truly has been enormously motivating for us. Thank you so much, Priyanka, for taking out your time and coming here to chat with us. We really hope the ripple effects of this podcast reach much more deeper. Women, women dream much more higher dreams. We would also like to extend a gratitude to our listeners for tuning into this podcast.
And we will also be attaching the link to your link to Upton Stories Instagram account and the website in our description. And we urge our listeners to please check it out and help and play a great role in not playing a big role in agreeing to the myths of skincare and actually getting a better approach at your skincare, because it is your skin and your body at the end, so you have to take care of it. So that's what we urge our listeners to take care of. And I also want to ask ma'am that what message do you have for our listeners, like something that you want them to know and take care of in the future?
So just that I really feel that every small step that you take as an individual, whether it is carrying your own bottle and refusing to buy mineral water bottles, or those disposable cups, or composting your waste at home, whatever you can do as an individual level also really matters. A lot of time people think that I do this much, how will it make a difference? But then when thousands of people do only this much, only then can it really make a difference. So you should never think that what you do is of less significance. In fact, it's the most important thing. Everybody's individual contribution adds up at the end of the day. So whatever little you can do, you don't have to be 100% eco-friendly or whatever is easy for you. Just start with that. Even if it's two small things you can change today, that also works. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure our listeners will love to adapt this practice, and hopefully they do adapt this practice and take care of it in the future. And we also would like to thank you again for taking out the time and for recording this podcast with us. It was really informative and really engaging as well. So we thank you for creatively answering our questions, and it was definitely a very wholesome experience to record this podcast with you. So I'd like to conclude by thanking you and our listeners. And until next time, so thank you.
Thank you so much.